Hi, this is Kara. Welcome to Breaking Free Fridays, or welcome back if you've been following the series. It's really great to have you here. Today, I wanted to talk about dealing with chronic pain. I've been hearing some feedback in our community about interest in this particular topic, and it's such an important one, just addressing health concerns and in particular pain. A lot of people deal with chronic pain, and this is actually something that's kind of close to my heart because during some of my own personal journey with health crises, I went through many years of chronic pain, and at many points in time it was excruciating and at levels that were really debilitating to me in life. And so I definitely have a passion for this because I have come through to the other side and am very healthy and vibrant, and I had been at a point where medical doctors really thought and told me to basically be prepared to live with this for the rest of my life, and that I would probably, have to rely on medicine and things like that. And, one of the things I will share that I think actually is really important, it has to do with our mindset around it. So when the doctors told me that, I just wasn't willing to accept that as the outcome. I was not okay with that, and so much of us being open to the possibility allows the possibility to present itself. And obviously, I just want to caveat, I'm not a medical doctor, and each person's own individual experience and their health journey and health conditions can be unique and really warrant a lot of different perspectives and members on your health team. And that's something I would definitely encourage people to really explore, because there is so much more that can support our bodies and our systems beyond just like traditional Western medicine, that can make a huge difference. And especially when you bring like an integrative team into place, where you're dealing with all of these different facets, it can be an absolute game changer. Because when we are dealing with chronic pain, there are a lot of things to take into account with that. And it's one of the things that I have come to realize in my own journey, and I happen to be a big believer in this, that anything that manifests physically in any kind of a condition or symptom or something like that is the result of an unresolved emotional pattern that has just gotten stuck and reinforced over time. And this may sound weird when you think, oh, well, how can that apply, if I trip and fall or trip and stub my toe? And, there are concepts even that connect that to, like self-punishment or, feeling guilty or things like that. And when you start opening yourself up to really looking at things and allowing yourself to partner with your body, it's really about being a partner in partnership. Oftentimes we grow up in a world that trains us to basically treat our bodies like a robot or a machine, and our bodies are, they're these miraculous temples that are housing our divine essence, our true nature. And we have so much wisdom that lives in our bodies. And if only we take the time to listen and to really connect with our body. That is a big part of the key, is coming into relationship and partnership with our bodies instead of resisting them, getting really upset with them because they're not functioning the way that we want. And so some of that is finding gratitude for all the things that are so incredible about our bodies, and really reinforcing that as well. There are a few tools and resources that I want to share that I think are absolutely phenomenal in the realm of really addressing that connector between unresolved emotional patterns, which there are some other videos I talk about this as well, but emotions, come from thoughts too, and beliefs. So, and then if we don't allow the emotion, if we don't allow ourselves to feel it, if we don't allow it to move through, that's energy that gets stuck in our body, creates imbalances. It's one form of maladaptation that can come over time, and it gets reinforced the more that we are out of balance that way. There are other ways that we can have like maladaptive things with our body that can result in pain too, not having the right kinds of foods that are nourishing our bodies, or eating things that our body doesn't really tolerate well, and just eating it anyway. For example, not getting enough sleep, or living in a state of chronic stress where it's creating a lot of acid in our systems. The other thing, if we're not clearing, if we're not cleansing on all different levels, that also can contribute to ways that our system can basically develop chronic pain issues in different areas, because it's this out of balance kind of situation, maladaptation in our bodies. And stuff, I mean, think of it in the context of stuff getting backed up, or like a good example, someone might experience pain in like their upper right abdomen, and that is where the liver is, and the liver is a connector point to suppressed and unresolved anger, for example. If there's a lot of joint pain, chronic pain in the joints, that is an area that's kind of an indicator communicating that there's a lot of suppressed emotion that hasn't been felt. It's like backed up, that things aren't able to be released. And let me tell you about these resources. So Louise Hay, oh my gosh, phenomenal. She wrote a book called You Can Heal Your Life, and it is a great resource for connectors between different kinds of physical symptoms and ailments and emotions. And also she shares some flip sides in terms of affirmations that can help like reinforce a different pattern. But meanwhile, it's really, really powerful to start allowing those suppressed emotions that are basically stuck in the form of a physical sensation. There might also be, things like tears that need to be released. Think of those as it's cleansing, right? It's almost like, the power of, I don't know about you, but I remember as a kid, it was fun, like playing in the rain. It's like, that's a form of like just purifying, cleansing ourselves, letting something release. There's another resource too that's really powerful. It's called Buried Feelings Never Die, and it also connects different patterns to different ailments. So those are really powerful. And some of the things that I also did in bringing myself to a place where I don't have any chronic pain anymore. I did a lot with aromatherapy. And there's emotional release tools and things like that you can connect to different body points that follow like just the meridians, the acupressure points in our bodies, also different patterns. And there's really powerful ways, because aromatherapy and essential oils, they are just incredibly powerful in really reaching every cell of your being, just inhaling the that scent and really getting those benefits and a therapeutic level into your body. I've felt and experienced miraculous things with that and different kinds of processes. But a lot of energy work. Really bringing yourself and managing your energy frequency is so key. But just to leave you with one, that like the most important nugget, I would say, has to do with really becoming a partner with your body, learning to love your body, learning to appreciate your body, and really connecting with your body. Even just putting, a hand on your heart, a hand on your belly, and really breathing, noticing all of the things that are a miraculous gift about the way that your body functions. And it just does it on its own. Just all of the things that your organs are doing automatically. And really, the more that we can bring ourselves into balance, I just want to reinforce that. And I'm talking on all levels. So, physically, emotionally, mentally, consciously, spiritually, energetically, the more we allow our body to have the environment that it can thrive in actually healing. It knows how. It can do it. So I personally believe, that spiritual connection is absolutely critical with all of that. That there's just, a divine hand in all of this as well. That's incredibly beautiful and powerful. And anyway, I would love to hear your stories, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to share more about my experience, what I found worked. But I help clients all the time, in working through some of these patterns, and it's amazing to see the breakthroughs and the release and the healing and just the energy shifts. So one other thing to remind about too is movement. Movement is so important. Our body is designed to be in motion, and that is part of what helps keep things flowing and going in a healthy direction. And I remember when I was at the height of some of my most intense pain, and having lived a life where I've just been really active my whole life, athletic, and just used to being able to move and use my body with ease, and getting to that place where I could barely walk at times. And at least in my case, I found myself definitely getting a lot weaker and things like that. And I did clear, of course, with my doctor, like, I'm not going to cause harm by moving, that doing some of these exercises and physical therapies and reconditioning myself, even though it hurts, and it hurts more and may actually aggravate things more. In my particular experience, I think it's important to clear those things with each person's individual circumstance and health situation. But I got that clearance, and I started building that strength back up and that stamina. And it definitely, for me, it was a part of that healing process too. And really coming back into part of the balance and the strength in my system. So let me know what questions you have or thoughts, like what your experience has been around this. And one of the, I know I keep thinking of some final notes, but this is such a really important topic. And this sounds a little silly, but I will tell you, it can have incredibly powerful effects, especially if you allow yourself to just be willing and open-minded. But if you have an area where you feel a lot of tension or, consistent pain, put your hand there just gently, and just breathe and be with that, and just allow yourself to kind of be curious about the feeling without any like fear or judgment or resistance against it. Just like noticing it, almost like you're just a curious observer or a scientist doing an experiment, while you also, have your hand in that spot, like just like a gentle, pressure and connector to your body. And you'll be surprised, especially if you do this on a regular basis, your body will start realizing, oh, the, there's someone that cares about me. I am in relationship with this person, and it can just soften. It'll start releasing that tension. It'll start letting go of that backed up energy, and that is so powerful. I'd love to hear your experiences when you try this. So have a wonderful week, and here's to your next level of empowerment and breaking free. Bye for now.